Our top story this morning, all eyes on Prime Minister Modi's UNGA address. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has reached New York, where he is scheduled to address the 76th session of the United Nations General Assembly. He will be addressing the UNGA at 6:30 p.m. this evening. Indian diaspora welcomed Prime Minister Modi and chanted Vande Mataram and Bharat Mata Ki Jai outside the hotel where he's staying in New York. The Prime Minister is expected to raise the issue of terrorism, highlight India's contribution to the world during the COVID-19 pandemic, Afghanistan crisis, vaccine export, among other issues. Prime Minister Modi will leave for India after the UNGA address at 9:15 p.m. Prime Minister Modi held important bilateral meetings with US President Joe Biden, Vice President Kamala Harris. He also addressed Quad leaders meeting at a Quad summit.
All right, come on. Please.
I'm joined by my colleague, Foreign Affairs Editor Geeta Mohan from Washington right now. Geeta, what are we to expect from the Prime Minister's address at the UNGA this evening?
Well, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is going to be the first speaker of the day. It is going to be a significant and an important speech. He was to come to the United States of America for the quadrilateral and the bilateral meeting with President Biden, and is the reason why he decided to go to the UNGA and address the assembly. The focus will remain COVID-19, climate change and conflict. These are three important areas that Prime Minister Narendra Modi has focused on in the recent past, and he's going to continue doing that even this time around. The withdrawal of the US forces from Afghanistan is critical when it comes to security in the region. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will speak of how there needs to be inclusivity, that democracy should be respected and honored, but also the fact that in a post-COVID world, the entire world and community has to come together. We've seen a lot of leaders before him who've come and spoken about COVID-19 recovery and vaccines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is going to talk about the role India played in ensuring that countries that could not afford or that could not avail health services, or that India came to their assistance, but also will direct his attack against those who are now indulging in vaccine racism. Vaccine equity is something that will be a key and focus area, because United Nations is a forum, is a body that is going to look at that aspect. Apart from that, terrorism, counter-terrorism, without naming any country, talking about aggressive posturing, aggression, all that will be focus of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's speech this time around at the 76th session of the United Nations General Assembly.
Right. Geeta, stay on with us. We'll come back to you. Now, the first ever Quad in-person meet held at Washington, D.C. was hosted by US President Joe Biden. The leaders of 4 Quad nations, Prime Minister Modi, US President Joe Biden, Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison and Japanese Prime Minister Yoshihide Suga, discussed key challenges that are being faced by the world. Without naming China, all 4 leaders sought an open Indo-Pacific trade and even better cooperation in the region. India today has learned that all 4 countries were very critical of China. Prime Minister Modi even raised the issue of clean app movement aimed at reining in the Chinese app menace, and the issue was resonated by the United States, Australia and Japan. Prime Minister Modi also added that the Quad will ensure peace and prosperity in the Indo-Pacific region and would act as a force for global good. US President Joe Biden said that this is a grouping of democratic partners who share a worldview and have a common view for the future and will take on key challenges of our age. The 4-group coordination also discussed the current situation in Afghanistan. Other issues like COVID management, vaccine partnership, 8 million doses of biological E and Johnson & Johnson vaccines for Quad pool also got a mention in the meeting, along with common international COVID protocols for travelers.
आज जब विश्व कोविड-19 पैंडेमिक से मुकाबला कर रहा है, तो क्वाड के रूप में हम एक बार फिर मिलकर मानवता के हित में जुटे हैं। हमारा क्वाड वैक्सीन इनिशिएटिव इंडो पैसिफिक देशों की बड़ी मदद करेगा। हमारा क्वाड एक तरह से फोर्स फॉर ग्लोबल गुड की भूमिका में काम करेगा। मुझे विश्वास है क्वाड में हमारा सहयोग इंडो पैसिफिक में और विश्व में शांति और समृद्धि सुनिश्चित करेगा।
We are looking at fairly strong language with regard to the Quad's commitment on terrorism and the need to counter terrorism anywhere in the world. It reinforces the Quad's thinking on this issue and the need to combine efforts to deal with this common scourge. Also, with regard to Afghanistan, again, there is similar language, especially with the main points of Resolution 2595 mentioned therein.
नरेंद्र मोदी और अमेरिकी राष्ट्रपति जो बाइडेन के बीच द्विपक्षीय बातचीत, तो दूसरी तरफ क्वाड मीट पर थी पूरे विश्व की नजर, जब भारत, अमेरिका, जापान और ऑस्ट्रेलिया के राष्ट्राध्यक्ष आमने सामने थे ये तय करने के लिए कि इंडो पैसिफिक रीजन में कैसे हम आगे बढ़ें, एक दूसरे का हाथ थामे और चीन की नीतियों को किसी न किसी तरह से अंकुश लगाकर उसकी विस्तारवाद नीति को हद में रखने के लिए कदम उठाए जाएं। अफगानिस्तान पर चर्चा हुई क्वाड मीट में, तालिबान की सरकार वहां पर बनी है, इस पर चर्चा हुई, आतंकवाद के मुद्दे पर चर्चा हुई। लेकिन इसी के साथ आपको ये भी बता दें कि चीन बौखलाया रहा। बार बार ऐसे दिन, जिस दिन क्वाड मीट यहां वॉशिंगटन डीसी में इसी व्हाइट हाउस में मुलाकात हो रही थी, ऐसे दिन चीन ने कहा कि प्रासंगिकता ही नहीं है क्वाड की।
Geeta Mohan continues to join us from Washington DC. Geeta, what all was discussed at this first in-person Quad summit? We all know that China, of course, continues to be a big concern for this four-nation grouping.
Well, a strengthened Quad is in everybody's favor. It is a force for good, as Prime Minister Narendra Modi put it, and that's what the focus has been when the leaders met. There are a lot of deliverables when it comes to how they're going forward, whether it is cyberspace, technology, advanced military and security cooperation, or for that matter, trade and connectivity. We are seeing on all aspects India, Japan, US, Australia coming together to counter forces like China who've continued bullying. The statement that comes is one that really in no uncertain words says that these countries and the countries in the region are not going to continue taking bullying from China. And to that effect, there are a lot of announcements when it comes to technology sharing, software, the trade and connectivity aspect, as also the security aspect. Not primarily military, but security certainly is a primary aspect in the Quad grouping.